Hey, and welcome to this week's edition of Shock Therapy. I was trying to think about what we were going to talk about today, and this song just kind of popped in my head about "It Is Well with My Soul." I don't know how many of you know the story behind "It Is Well with My Soul," but Horatio Spafford was the hymn writer for "It Is Well with My Soul," and he was a successful lawyer, a Christian lawyer. And in the 1800s, the Great Chicago Fire, he lived in Chicago with his wife and four daughters, and the Great Chicago Fire happened. And when the Great Chicago Fire happened, it wiped him out financially. It took all he had invested in the properties there, and it wiped them all out. And so Horatio Spafford had to send his family along with himself back to England, where he was going to go, or back over to Europe, where they were going to go and stay and try and get back on their feet again. And so just as they're about to get ready to leave, something had come up with a zoning issue or something like that with where with one of the properties from the fire. And so he went ahead and sent his wife and four daughters on ahead of himself on a ship over to Europe, and he was going to follow later. Midway through the trip, the cruise liner, not cruise liner, but the ship sank in the midst of the sea. It collided with another ship and sunk rapidly. His wife and four daughters are now in the ocean. And the story is told of the mom holding the little baby daughter that he had, and the debris that was hitting her from the wreckage ripping the child from her arms, and she caught her one last second in the water from her gown, and then the water pulled her away. She was picked up by the other cruise liner that had hit, or the other ship that had hit, the one that she and her four daughters were on. And so she was picked up and sent what is now a famous telegram back to Horatio Spafford, which had these words: "Saved alone." And so Horatio Spafford quickly, obviously, gets on to the next ship he can to head over to Europe to be with his wife. And as they're midway through the trip, the captain looks at him and says, "Listen, we've done our best, but we truly believe that this is the spot that the ship sunk at, and these are where your four daughters, and the water is 3 miles deep, but we believe this is where the ship sank that was carrying your family." It was at that moment, it was that night actually, that Horatio Spafford sat down and penned the words, "It is well with my soul." I'd like to read you quickly 2 verses so you can see. With all that in mind, Horatio Spafford just had his children ripped from his arms in the most horrendous way to think about. And yet he pens these words. The first verse is this: "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul." But I want to focus on this verse because we're talking about Luke 9:23. We're talking about following Christ, and how this shock therapy is a way for you to get you back, to go against the grain, to follow Christ even if nobody else does. And so I want you to listen to this verse. I believe it's the 4th one. It goes like this: "For me, be it Christ, hence to live. If Jordan above me shall roll, no pang shall be mine, for in death as in life thou wilt whisper thy peace to my soul." The first line is incredible. After all this man has just went through, he says, "For me, be it Christ, hence to live." A man who had just lost his 4 daughters pens a word that says something major. And I would say it is a picture of Luke 9:23 played out. "And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me." That's Luke 9:23. This man loses his family, his children, and says, "The only thing that matters to me in life is Christ." I don't know what this week you will face. I don't know what things will be taken from you. I don't know if some kid at school is going to talk about you behind your back and then it goes viral and everybody's talking about you. I don't know. But I want to encourage you this week to focus, no matter what happens negatively, no matter what goes wrong in your life, be it Christ, hence to live. Don't let anything else in the world take your joy and your ability to follow Christ. Be different. Allow the people in school, it doesn't matter what they think, allow them to know that you're going to stand for what's right and you're going to do what's right no matter what. I love you guys. Hope you have a great week.